what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path. Path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is earth to be served, worship to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu Alaikum. We have Sister Cortress Skies of New Jersey. We have Captain Hakeem and the believers in Richmond. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum. Today we like to talk about the Bible is the black Muslim's book. Now this, once again, was inspired by this debate I had with Captain Tazariak. And through the week, I just be going through all of the comments, reading what the spook worshipers got to say. That's just me. So it's Orthodox Muslims and Nation of Islam people. It's just something hard to see how these Israelites have completely taken the teachings of the messenger and flipped it, and now they representing what the messenger said, and Muslims don't have nothing to say. So one of the things that Tazariak said in this debate, he was saying that the messenger reformed the black man using his book, because now how the Israelites use the teachings of the messenger against him, while the Muslims sit idly by, is now they tell the black man that the Bible is the black man's book, and that the messenger used the Israelites' book to reform the black man. So let's start with a little bit of history, because this video in a week got 20,000 views. So it's 20,000 views, you know, it could be more, that heard the teachings of the message. At least that happened. All praise is due to Allah. So when you go to the history of Captain Tazariak, because in the video, his group is called ISUPK. That's the original group that Abba Bivens started. This is Abba Bivens. He started ISUPK in 1969. So before they start stealing the teachings of the messenger, they didn't care nothing about the Bible. This is him holding what is called the Torah scrolls. And this is very important for us to know as Muslims. Because the messenger taught us that history is best qualified to reward our research. Because if we don't know what went on yesterday, we won't know what's going on today. Because it's important for us to know the messenger's history in the 30s. Yeah. It's important for us to know the history of the messenger meeting Master Farad Muhammad. Yes. It's important for us to know why Master Farad Muhammad called us the lost found nation of Islam. All that's important for us to know. So we have this brother right here. His name is Rabbi Matthew Wentworth, or Wentworth Matthews. And once again, we see him with a Torah scroll. This is very important for us to know. So they have an interview with this brother was Abba Bivens' rabbi. This was his rabbi over his synagogue. In 1941, they did an interview of this rabbi. It's called Colored Jews in America. Back when the white man was calling us Negroes, niggers, and colored people. Wasn't no black Jews out in the street telling the black man, you the so-called colored man. Or you the so-called Negro like they do when we say we black. Today they in the street telling the black man, you the so-called black man, trying to fight against the message. But when the white man wrote an article about them and called them the colored Jews, they had nothing to say. So in the article called Colored Jews in America, the black Jews and their rabbi, it says, despite the fact that there have been few voluntary conversions to Judaism among the colored Christians, the black Jews do not go out looking for converts, says the rabbi. A Jew is a Jew if he born Jewish. That's very important. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's first publication is the final call to Islam. This is the history that we supposed to know, and we supposed to be telling it to the black man. Because God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. He came seeking to save that which is lost. So he found us. Another good point. Master Farad Muhammad didn't just come to America. He was searching for the lost sheep. More history. He didn't just say, yo, let me just go to North America because I want to go on vacation to see the white man. He came seeking to save that which is lost. Yes, the black man was lost. Yeah. So Master Farad Muhammad came to North America seeking to save that which is lost. So we had the black Jew. They didn't see nothing special about the black man. Before they start copying and stealing the teachings of it, they didn't even go out to convert the black man to Judaism. Because they didn't see the black man as the lost sheep. They didn't see the black man as the valley of dry bones. They didn't see the black man as God's choice. So the rabbi said, we don't go out seeking converts. But the messenger, in 1934, he was going out seeking converts. is called the Final Call to Islam. It says published weekly by Elijah Muhammad, minister of Islam in North America. This the message. Messenger was only a Muslim for 3 years. And he was already going out to get the dead. Yes. This is very valuable history that we should know when we dealing with these Israelites. Because he telling 20,000 people that the messenger reformed the black man with his book. Now he done took the Bible and made it his book. Now he done took the messenger's interpretation and made it his. While we as Muslims just sit idly by. So when you go on the Final Call to Islam, the messenger has the Valley of Dry Bones. Another important point. Because the Israelites now have the nerve to tell the black man that Elijah Muhammad didn't even teach Malcolm. This is Bishop Nathaniel in his video called Black Muslims versus Umar Johnson. In this video, he says Elijah Muhammad did not teach Malcolm X. He said my elder Yaquab did. So now when they play Malcolm X videos, this is another video of IUIC. It says Malcolm X knew we were lost sheep. Not the messenger knew, but Malcolm X knew. Because the messenger didn't teach Malcolm. The Bible is their book. And Malcolm X knew we was the lost sheep. We can go even further with the message. This is another final call to Islam. And you can go on NOYWC, and I think they got 4 final calls to Islam that you can read through the whole paper. This is the August 25th, 1934 final call to Islam. Another weekly article coming out by the messenger. When you go to page 2, the messenger has a warning to the black man in America. It says chapter 3 by Elijah Muhammad, minister of Islam in North America. One of the sections in the article says, Savior of lost sheep is not a spirit. So the messenger in 1934 was talking about the lost sheep. But if we don't say nothing, now the Israelites say Malcolm X knew. Malcolm X was a little boy in 1934. Malcolm was born in 1925. So he was 9 years old in 1934. When the messenger teaching us both Bible and Holy Quran. Yes, sir. Because when you go to the final call of Islam, you have what the messenger have at the bottom of the picture. He says, do not miss next week's article. Prophet Farad Muhammad is our deliverer by prophecy of the Bible and Quran. Long before Malcolm, long before Farrakhan, long before Muhammad Ali, the messenger was teaching the black man about how he fits in the prophecies in the Bible and Holy Quran. So IUIC goes on. They say Malcolm X knew we were the lost sheep. Malcolm X taught us to separate from our oppressors. Malcolm X taught us, not the messenger. That's what Malcolm X taught. Because the one thing about this debate I had with Captain Tazariak, I crushed him in this debate. But because it's so many Israelites today who love to hear him lie on the message. Because how the debate went. They had a vote at the end to see who was the winner of the debate. Because Muslims today don't care nothing about the messenger, don't care nothing about Master Farad Muhammad. Most of the people in the debate was Israelites. Yes. Dogging the message. The topic of the debate was, is Yahweh and Allah the same God in the Bible and Holy Quran? So I'm telling them that the God of the Bible said, behold, I will send you Elijah. Show him what the messenger did, what the scriptures say in real life. But because there wasn't no Muslims, they say I was off topic. The topic say, is Allah and Yahweh the same in the Bible and Holy Quran? The Bible say that it was the spirit of truth that was going to come. And the spirit of truth is going to lead us into all truth. So I say, hey, the Bible talking about Elijah Muhammad. But since it wasn't no Muslims, they could gaslight us. Yes. Take the messenger's teachings and make it their teachings. So the Israelite go on. He says Malcolm X taught us to separate from our oppressors and reclaim our identity as the lost sheep Christ came for. Not that Master Farad Muhammad came for, but Christ of 2,000 years ago. Christ came for. So they take the messenger's teachings, add it to their thing. Now it's what Christ came for. When God came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, July 4th, 1930. He was the one, because in this final call to Islam, this Master Farad Muhammad in the picture. Teaching the black man, you the dry bones. The messengers say our Savior is the finder of the lost sheep, not Christ. So he goes on. He said his fight wasn't just about civil rights. It was about awakening our people to who they truly are. He knew true liberation meant breaking both physical and mental chains, and he was right. Malcolm was right. Not the messenger, but Malcolm was right. Now let's go on even further than that. Then we have other Israelite groups. This says Malcolm X on Valley of Dry Bones, awakening up you Israelites. Another Israelite group. Then we got another. This was shared on Instagram February 1st, 2025. It says Valley of Dry Bones, Exodus chapter 37. Malcolm X knew we were the children of Israel. So this was shared February 1st. This one was shared 5 years ago. Where the Muslim response? In 5 years. See, that's what Israelites do. And that's what I learned in it, because this was my first, not the last debate. Because I finally was able to get my foot in the door to one of these big time podcasts where I can get the messenger's teachings out to the black man. This was my first time, but it ain't gonna be the last. So what I noticed in the debate, he wasn't concerned about the truth at all. No. All he wanted to do was to outspeak the lies to overshadow the truth of the message. What he continued to say over and over again was Muhammad of 1400 years ago was a white man. Over and over and over again. That's what they used to try to drown out the messenger. They can't talk about the messenger and what he taught in his works that he did for 44 years. So now they try to make Islam synonymous with theirs. So they only criticize the Arabs to make the black man not see the message.
That's what they did.
Because if we talking about the gods of the Bible and the Holy Quran, all these are our stories of when God made himself known to his messenger or his prophet.
That's right.
That's all every story is. Mm-hmm. Every story when you talking about Noah, God made himself known to Noah. Noah made God known to all of the people. That's right. God only revealed himself to one person.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
When you talking about Moses, God revealed himself to Moses. He was the only person God knew face to face. So Moses made God known to the rest of the people. When Jesus came on the scene, he was the only one who knew the Father. Right. So he was telling everybody what the Father sent him to do. When you talk about the Holy Quran, Prophet Muhammad was the only one who knew Allah.
That's right.
He was the only one who could tell the Arabs about Allah. Mm-hmm. That's what every story in the Bible is talking about. So when we talking about the message, we saying that he saw God face to face.
Yes.
The same way Moses did.
Yes.
Same way Jesus told us about the Father, the messenger taught us about Master Farad Muhammad.
Teach, brother man.
So when the Bible is talking about the lost sheep, let's get into that part. And that's why it's very important for us to know our own history. Yeah. It's important for us to understand what is the lost sheep, what does the parable mean, and why are we called the lost, found nation of Islam. That's very important for us to know. Because this is what Master Farad Muhammad called us when he found us. This is from the Supreme Wisdom. This is Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2. Because we have Lost Found lesson number 1 and Lost Found lesson number 2. It says this lesson is answered very near correct, and all students student should read and study it until he or she can recite it by heart. Prophet W.D. Farad. That was Master Farad Muhammad. He gave the messenger questions that Master Farad Muhammad called lost found Muslim lessons that he wanted us to study so that we can begin to get a thorough knowledge of self. That was Master Farad Muhammad. So on the last page of the lesson, it says this lesson number 2 was given by our prophet W.D. Farad, which contains 40 questions answered by Elijah Muhammad, one of the lost found. So the messenger, he was also referred to as a lost found. Yes. This was Master Farad Muhammad. Yes. When he found us, we always got to remember that. When Master Farad Muhammad came to America, he found the lost sheep because he was searching for the lost sheep. This is the reason why Jesus gave the parable. Let's go to July 7th, 1956, Pittsburgh, Cary. It's called Holy Quran and Bible. The messenger says, we the so-called American Negroes are mentioned in the New Testament under several names and parables. I will name 2. The parable of the lost sheep and the parable of the prodigal son. Luke 15, 1 through 11. Of which we could not be described better under or in a parable. This the messenger, teaching us about why we are called the lost found nation of Islam. He teaches us that we are mentioned under many names and parables. So the names that are used in the Bible is talking about the black man. Yes. Just like the white man is named under many names. One of his names is serpent. Yes. Another one of his names is beast. Another one of his names is dragon. The messenger say another one of his names is Adam. That's right. That's the name of the white man. The black man got names. One of our names is lost sheep. One of our names is Lazarus. One of our names is Jesus. Yes. Messenger say it's 4 histories that's taught with the one Jesus. So that's one of our names. So let's go on with the messenger. He says Luke 15, 1 through 11 is a parable that we are mentioning. And he said it couldn't have been mentioned better than in this parable. So it says, then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him. It says, and the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, this man receiveth sinners and eateth with them. That's the messenger telling us about how when Master Farad Muhammad chose us, everybody looked at Master Farad Muhammad like them ain't nothing but some niggas. How you telling them they righteous by nature? How you telling some niggas that they got a messenger? The last messenger talking about Prophet Muhammad. Because it was an Orthodox Muslim that answered to one of these or made a comment. He said when Khalil was talking about the illiterate one. He said that's not talking about Elijah Poole. That's talking about Prophet Muhammad. Niggas. That's how dumb niggas is. That's how jealous niggas is to the message.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the word illiterate just for a minute. We all know that Prophet Muhammad was illiterate. He couldn't read or write. We know the messenger. He went to the 3rd grade. The messenger could read pretty decent, but he only went to the 3rd grade.
Right.
So how could the messenger be illiterate if he could read? Because unlike Prophet Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was robbed of a knowledge of self.
That's right.
So he was 10 times more illiterate than Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad could speak his language. So a person could read Prophet Muhammad something that he couldn't read and he could understand. Because he couldn't read Arabic, but he could speak Arabic.
Right.
But the messenger, he was robbed of a knowledge of self.
Yes, sir.
So his language was taken from him.
Yes.
His religion was taken from him.
Yes.
His name was taken from him.
Yes.
So the white man could take the Bible. He steal the messenger's language. Then he teach him his language. Then when he teach him his language, he teach the messenger broken English. So when the messenger speaks, he don't speak English proper, he speak broken English. So when the white man taught the messenger his language, then he gives the messenger his Bible. The messenger could read the words, but he didn't know that it was written in symbolic language.
Right.
So even though he could read where the Bible said the serpent, he didn't know that it had a hidden meaning.
Yes.
He didn't know that that's talking about the white man.
Right.
So the messenger told us that the white man was taught by Yaqub a science called trick knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Prophet Muhammad wasn't under trick knowledge. Prophet Muhammad was in his own land. He was among his own people. He knew who he was. The problem that the Arabs had is that they went astray.
Right.
So he was illiterate. That's true, he couldn't read. The messenger couldn't speak his own language. The messenger's name was Elijah Poole. We never even think about that. The messenger said when we have the white man's name, that means we belong to him.
That's right.
Just like when Ford, he put his name, Henry Ford. Every car that he made got his name on.
Right.
Even to this day. Henry Ford been long gone. But the cars that are made today still have his name on them.
Yes.
Because those cars belong to him.
Teach, brother minister.
Just like the messenger. We belong to the white man.
Yeah.
How much more illiterate are we than Prophet Muhammad? Messenger taught us. He said, I am the Muhammad of the Holy Quran. Because what we don't understand about the Quran, Prophet Muhammad didn't sit around teaching the Arabs an interpretation. That's the one thing we got to understand when the Holy Quran prophesies of the messenger. It says that he it is who raised messenger among the illiterates. And it says he will teach them the book and the wisdom.
Yes.
That ain't talking about Prophet Muhammad. Because when Prophet Muhammad was raised up among the Arabs, just to give a quick history of him, the Quran was revealed to him in what they call peace meal. A little bit here, a little bit there. So when Prophet Muhammad would get a revelation, they would write the revelation down on anything they could find. Sometime it would be on paper. Sometime it would be on stone. Sometime they say it would even be on bones. It would be on leather. Anything they could find. So after 23 years of him just getting revelation, some in Mecca, some in Medina, some over here, some over there, by the time 23 years had passed, you had revelations everywhere. So 3 months after Prophet Muhammad got the last revelation, he died. So during Prophet Muhammad's time, all of the revelations were scattered. That's why they said after his death, they had to compile the Quran. He died in 632, and they say in 650 is when Uthman, according to them, had to gather all of the revelations from all over the places who had them. Some people knew it by heart. Some people had the revelations scattered. So they had to take all of these papers and bones and wood and all of that, put it together to what we have as the Quran today.
Yes, sir.
So Prophet Muhammad was not teaching them the book and the wisdom.
Right.
Because the Quran was not a book during his time. So when it talks about he it is who raised up a messenger from among the illiterates, it's talking about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Another prophecy in the Quran. It talks about Abraham's prayer. This was a point that I didn't get to make in the debate. So in the Bible, in Genesis, I believe, chapter 18, Allah tells Abraham, he says, know of a surety that thy seed will be strangers in the land and will serve them 400 years. That's what it says in the Bible. So in the Holy Quran, it gives us more input to the story. It says Abraham prayed to Allah to raise up a messenger from among his offspring, and that messenger would teach them the book and the wisdom, and that messenger would purify them. That's not talking about Prophet Muhammad, because Prophet Muhammad was never a slave for 400 years. The Bible talks about how Allah told Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed will be strangers in the land that is not theirs, and will serve them 430 years, or 400 years. So the Bible, or the Holy Quran, continues the story. When Abraham got that knowledge, he wanted Allah to raise them up a messenger who would teach them the book and the wisdom. Because Abraham knew from what Allah taught that the white man was going to hide the truth from the black man. So he wanted a messenger to teach the black man what the white man hid for 400 years. This is why when Master Farad Muhammad found us, it talks about him in the parable of the lost sheep. All of the Pharisees, when they saw Jesus with the sinners, they say, look at him. He eating with the sinners. So Jesus said, let's read from the top. It says, then drew near unto him all the publicans and sinners for to hear him. And the Pharisees and scribes murmured, saying, this man receives sinners and eateth with them. And he spake unto this parable unto them, saying, what man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doeth not he leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he finds it? So this is a parable talking about Master Farad Muhammad. And this is why when Master Farad Muhammad found us, he called us the lost and found. Because it says in the parable, Jesus said, which one of you, when you see me sitting with these sinners? Because the Jews had more respect, the messenger said, for they lost found animals than they had for God's lost found people. So this is why Jesus had to explain to them Pharisees who love their animals. Because the Pharisees and the scribes and the Jews is the white race.
That's right.
White man love his dog
That's right.
more than he see value. So the messenger say, which one of you crackers? If you lost Fido, if you lost Red 1010 and Spuds McKenzie, them old school names for the dog, you would lead the rest of them dogs in the wilderness to go find Fido. That's what Jesus was saying, bringing it down to modern times. You love your dog. You kiss your dog in the mouth. So your dog is important to you. But these lost sheep is important to God. These are God's lost and found. So when Jesus was giving them the parable, messenger said he had to break it down with animals. Because when they saw God with his lost found people, they ridiculed God. They laughed at God. They made a mockery of his people. But when he broke it down to sheep, or in today's language, we talk about a dog. Because the white man then and the white man now sees his animals more important than the black man.
That's right.
So Jesus said, if you had your dogs and your sheeps and your goats, wouldn't you leave the 99 just to go find the one? That's how much your dog mean to you. That's how much your sheep mean to you. That's how much God's people means to him. He'll leave Mecca. They know Islam. They ain't been robbed of a knowledge of self. They ain't been serving the people for 400. So I lead the Muslims to come see these Muslims who righteous by nature.
Yes.
But they've been made a sinner by the thief
Yes.
who robbed them of a knowledge of self. So he goes on. Because the most important part of this parable is the until he finds them part. Because these Israelites, they steal the baby. Because I want everybody to go, if you haven't seen it, go to the video. Because I asked him very good questions. Because I was crushing him in the debate. So I asked Tazaria, which one of your people did Yahweh choose? Since we talking about Yahweh is the same God in the Bible, who did Yahweh choose? Because it is a fact that the black man was robbed of a knowledge of self. That's a fact.
Yes.
It's also a fact that we have knowledge of the Bible, knowledge of ourselves, that we did not have before.
Right.
So if we got this knowledge that God said was coming in the end, who did Yahweh choose to teach us this new knowledge? Speechless.
Right.
Couldn't say nothing.
Right.
I had to ask him this question 3 times. Because first he tried to tell me it was Abba Bivens.
Yeah.
Then Abba Bivens died. Then it went to Yaquab and Ariel. So I said, if Yahweh chose them, then why did the people only listen to the messenger? Because black people quote Malcolm X more than they quote Abba Bivens.
Yes.
More than they quote Yaquab. We ain't even never heard of them. So I asked them, is Allah more powerful than Yahweh, or Yahweh more powerful than Allah? Once again, crickets. Crickets. Because he can gaslight me. He gaslighted me the whole thing. I ain't even mad at him. That's what he's supposed to do. But the messenger said, I love talking about it. He said, when you see little drops of water falling on steel, he said it don't look like those little drops of water that continue to fall on steel will eventually rust a hole in the steel.
That's right.
When you look at it,
That's right.
I feel like I want to be the little drops of water. He gaslighted me this time. That was just one drop. But about several drops. Because what I like in this video, when you read the responses, you don't see hardly, I don't recognize no Muslim sounding. It was a few Muslims. Can't say it wasn't none. Got to give the Muslims their credit too. Because I don't never want to sound like I feel like I'm the only one. I'm not saying that. But it was very few Muslims who listened to what I said and felt like I won. The majority of the people, from my opinion, from reading what they said, who liked what I said, was non-Muslims. They came off like lost finders who liked the message.
Yes.
Because most of the Muslims who was practicing Muslims, quote unquote, they would come in there and criticize what I said. Most of them would say he ain't following the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's a nigga. Even when I watch Farrakhan people arguing with them, I want the Farrakhan person to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how much I love the message. Because the old school brothers used to say, they say maybe Allah, when we say Allah will handle it. They say maybe Allah would do it himself. They say, or maybe Allah would put it in the heart of a lost found to do. Or maybe he'll put it in one of our hearts. That's a Muslim. Whether Allah do it, whether a lost found do it, whether a Muslim do it, long as it get done, a Muslim is satisfied.
That's right.
A hypocrite can do it. If Farrakhan was beating up on bus stop, I'd be cheering for this hypocrite.
That's right.
That's a belief. I know he a hypocrite. I ain't got no love for that hypocrite, but if he going hard for the messenger, as a hypocrite, I'm with him. I come in there and comment on what he said that was true about the message.
Yes.
If I'm coming in,
Right.
that's a belief.
Yes, sir.
But the Muslim, I ain't even gonna go on to talk about these other Muslims that comment. But all the Muslims seem like they commented had something negative to say. But I feel like I crushed them. I want to have another debate with them. Because the ones I really want is Israel united in Christ.
Yes.
Allah is blessing me to inch up on. That's how I feel. I remember when I used to watch them sisters play double dutch. They just be waiting. That's how I do it. I'm just. Then they get in there and be. That's how I'm gonna be. But the messenger, he taught us. Let's go on with the message. This comes from the July 7th, 1956, Pittsburgh Carrier. The messenger goes on. He says, before the coming of Allah, we being blind, deaf, and dumb, had mistaken the true meanings of these parables to be referring to the Jews. Another good point. This is why Abba Bivens now didn't go out in the street. Because we thought that these parables was talking about Jews. So in his article, when they interviewed him, colored Jews in America, he said the black Jews do not go out looking for converts, says the rabbi. A Jew is a Jew if he is born Jewish.
Yeah.
So if a nigga wasn't born, how many black people born Jewish? I ain't never met a black Jewish person in my life. Never. I've been all over America. Been in the military. I ain't never seen a black man who was a Jew. Never. I just see them on TV. I heard they said that Sammy Davis Jr. was a Jew. That's as close growing up. I ain't never seen no black man going to school or riding going to the store and this brother was a Jew. How many black people born a Jew? That showed you how few black people they were. That nigga a Jew. Some uppity nigga a Jew. You living in the segregated South in Mississippi, a nigga talking about he a Jew. Nigga, what you on, nigga? You a Jew. A nigga Jew. How many black people you seen with Torah scrolls? That's uppity nigga stuff. A nigga with some Torah scroll. Nigga walking my Torah scroll. I only deal with black people who born a Jew. But when all of these black Jews heard the message, break down the Bible, that's when them niggas decided to put down the Torah scrolls and pick up the Bible.
That's right.
But you gotta remember, in 1969, the messenger was still around.
Right.
Muslims was whooping heads.
Yes.
You can be a nigga Jew if you want to, but when you start opposing the messenger, that's when we got to whoop your head.
That's right.
I keeps it real. Messenger didn't mind niggas who got their head whooped about some Islam. I ain't never letting go of that head. The messenger used to encourage Muslims on the front page, go whoop a nigga's head. We can devote a whole hour talking about the niggas who got their head whooped during the time of the message.
Yes.
People wasn't playing with the message like they play with Farrakhan. You was a nigga Jew and you thought all that nigga Jew stuff, you kept it among the nigga Jews.
Right.
You wasn't in the street telling the black man that Islam is God. Because the messenger said, he said God came. He chose or he found us. And he chose a messenger. And the messenger's job is to get the message to the black man clearly. So if you got some old nigga Jew who telling the black man that the Holy Quran is toilet paper, that nigga getting in the way of the black man hearing the message clearly.
Yes.
So that's a nigga that's gonna get his head whooped with the message. You got a nigga who would tell the black man, Elijah Muhammad didn't teach Malcolm. Yaquad did. That's a nigga that would have got his head whooped with the message. A nigga that would be standing on the street telling the black man that Master Farad Muhammad really a white man. That's a nigga need his head whooped.
That's right.
That's a nigga that would have got his head whooped with the message.
Yes.
So all the nigga Jews who was stealing the teachings of the message, they had to wait till his death. Them niggas can talk all the tough nigga Israelite talk. Just the other week, them chump niggas in IUIC was in Kenya. Them Kenyan Christians got tired of listening to them chump niggas talk about Christianity. So them Kenyans started picking up rocks, throwing it at them chump niggas.
Yes.
What them niggas do? They ain't call on Yahweh. Them niggas picked them same signs up they got Master Farad Muhammad on there disrespected and started running. Them chump niggas. Messenger told Muslims, if you run, Allah not with you.
That's right.
Why you ain't never seen no Muslims run? Messenger say if you had a brother who you see is escalate, before the fight start, ain't nothing wrong with you saying, okay, instead of me fighting this nigga, I'ma walk away. I done it plenty times selling papers. You see a nigga who hostile. One time I had this brother who was real hostile. So I said, okay, instead of me fighting this nigga, I'm just gonna go across the street to this nigga, go in the store, get his beer and leave. I'm not gonna fight the nigga. That ain't the purpose. Messenger say the purpose is to get him.
Right.
So instead of me fighting him, say, okay, I'll go across there when the nigga left, came back. But if the nigga would have aggressed me, ain't no run. Now I got to fight the nigga. Now, if the nigga attacked me, ain't no running. I got to fight the nigga now. That's the teachers of the message.
That's right.
So them chump niggas in IUIC, they ran. Then everybody on social media start saying that the Kenyans ran them chump niggas out of Kenya. So Bishop Nathaniel say they ain't run us out of Kenya. So they show a video of these chump niggas right back where they was at. But the niggas just told the police, y'all need to tighten up the security with these niggas. They didn't make an example out the one who threw the rock to say they ain't run. No, they didn't run you out.
Right.
Because Bus Stop Bishop was a cop. Once he get his permit to say he can do there and stand there, the police supposed to protect him. That's how it go. Because you with your legal right to stand there and talk that garbage. So after they got done running, they went to the police. Now next time y'all need to stand out. So now you got these chump niggas still in Kenya talking that garbage. But the messenger, he was in America when the white man was terrorizing the black man for fun. Only person he told us to call for help was Allah.
That's right.
We couldn't run. When the temples was being raided, man say don't run. He said when he was talking about 1962 with Ronald T. Stokes. He said the brothers was brave because they fought armed police. But the messenger said they shouldn't have stopped fighting till the devil killed them all. He said you never let an enemy take the temple. But he said they fought. Messenger used to come on the front page of the Muhammad because when you look at what them brothers was doing, then you see what the messenger would say, you be like, God. Compared to an average black man, they fought armed police and that died and got parried. The man, no. Should have kept fighting. Till the devil killed them all. Then the messenger said in 1966, to show you how the messenger was, he had an article called Fighting in the Cause of Allah. Messenger say you like to be soft and kind to the hypocrite. Now I'm thinking, because I know the history. So I'm saying, you mean to tell me that them brothers, what they did, they was soft? Man, say you like to be soft with the hypocrite. I read it was a thing about Malcolm coming into Los Angeles. Malcolm said himself that the police had to stop the airplane from taxiing in to wherever they was going to his gate. Because he said it was Muslims in the airport waiting on him. He said so the police had to take him underneath the airport to hide him.
Yes.
That's the history I was reading. Read some more history. Messenger went to Harlem in 1964. A sister yelled out, he with Malcolm. They say them brothers had a circle around him and locked arms, where the police couldn't help him. So they say when they got done whooping his head, the brothers picked him up, carried him across the street, and threw him against a steel fence. That's the history I was reading. Then I get to the city, the man said, you like to be soft. Like that was soft. You wasn't playing with Elijah Muhammad like they playing with Farrakhan.
Right.
Told them, brother, you like to be soft with these. I saw that. That was soft. Not only you like to be kind to the hypocrite. Messenger said in that same hour, you never trust a hypocrite or a disbelief. He said, strive hard.
That's right.
Not strive soft, strive hard.
That's right.
Against the hypocrite and the disbelief.
Yes.
That's what these Israelites saw when they saw the message. He wasn't just talking spiritual spook talk. He was talking real life man to man.
Yes.
I read another in my conclusion. I read an article one time. This white lawyer in court was talking about Muslims. He said the one thing about a Muslim, he was like, when they say Allah, you don't know who they talking about. They could be talking about Allah, the all-knowing, all-powerful God that can't nobody see. But then they could be talking about one of them. You don't know what they talking about. When they say Allah retaliates, you don't know what they talking about Allah, or they talking about one of them. That's what these niggas Israelites heard with the message.
Yes.
When you tell one of them niggas Allah retaliates, nigga, that nigga don't know whether you talking about a spook or you talking about a Muslim. That's why they left Elijah Muhammad alone. So when they saw that this hypocrite Louis Eugene done took over the nation and he cream puffed it. He cream puffed it so well that that the Muslims can listen to you dog the message, dog Master Farad, dog our whole belief, and will still try to be your friend. They invite you to the temple. I done seen IUIC in the temple with them. That's a hypocrite.
Yes.
Messages say you never trust a hypocrite.
Right.
In my conclusion, just my last point. The messenger told us about a hypocrite and a disbeliever. This is something that we all who love Islam and want to practice Islam should always remember. The messengers say the hypocrite and the disbeliever, their greatest goal is to get you, the strong believer. That's what they really want to do. But he said, if they can't get you, they'll be happy to get your wife. They'll be happy to get your husband. They'll be happy to get your children. They'll be happy to get your friend. If they can't get you. That's what he taught us about. That's why he said you're supposed to strive hard against a hypocrite and a disbeliever. Because their goal is to turn you against Allah. That's their goal. So when you look at these nigger Israelites, they ain't none of our brothers. I'm speaking for those who believe in the message.
Yes.
Ain't none of these niggas, I don't care if they're in ISUPK, IUIC. Them niggas ain't none of our brothers.
No.
Got to keep it real. They keep it real, we keep it real. Because the messenger said, he said, I can't promise you no smooth gun. He said, but one thing I can promise you is that you will be the winner. That's what we got to hold on to.
That's right.
While we fight these hypocrites and disbelievers, and us being the winner, that don't mean we gonna live to see it. We got to know what the winner means.
Yes.
Winner mean we'll be a part of it eventually. Maybe we be long gone when the Muslims win. But the point is the Muslims are going to win. I want to be on the winning team.
Me too.
It don't matter if I'm first string, second string on the bench.
Yeah.
I could be in the building. I love to see some brothers step to these Israelites Muslim style.
Yes.
I could be laying in the bed somewhere, 200 years old. If I can watch on the TV some Muslims win, I'm happy. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words, peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone that we serve and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is earth to be served, worship or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.